It's Thursday, so I'm going live again today to tell you a little bit about nutritional labels. Now, backstory on me. My mom, when I was little, used to make me read all the cereal labels, and if sugar came up as one of the first three ingredients, I couldn't get that cereal. So I grew up on plain Cheerios because she would not let me have any other cereal. And then my sister was born and she got to eat Captain Crunch. But that's how long I have been reading nutrition labels. I didn't even realize that until like recently. I was thinking about, because the new label has recently come out. I didn't even think about that. I have been doing this basically my entire life. I've been looking at nutrition labels, reading nutrition labels, the ingredients, not necessarily the stuff at the top. It's all important, but the ingredients was what I read as a child. Now I pay attention to basically everything. I think, a few years ago it was trans fats, because they are illegal now, but a few years ago they weren't. And so I was looking at nutrition labels for trans fats because they are totally bad for us. Totally bad. If I know, it may not be correct, but I think it's basically Frankenstein food where trans fats come from. I think it's something that food companies were putting in the food. And yeah, so I think that's why it was so easy to kind of go back on that. But anyhow, I could be wrong about that, but I think that's how it works. So, like I said, recently, the nutrition labels have changed. And what they did is they made a couple of things better to see and gave you more information. First of all, it's the serving size. Before, there was no serving size, so you kind of had to guess at what that was. And I'm telling you, who hasn't had a box of cereal and poured a full bowl, and then you kind of look and you realize what the serving size might be, and you've probably got 4 serving sizes in that bowl, because the serving size of cereal is basically so small that no adult person would be able to eat like that little. But cereal is one of the things that's really high in calories, or not high in calories, it's just the serving size. To be able to get full from cereal, it's really hard to do. Now, this is actually a healthier cereal. If I look at the ingredients, it does have cane sugar as the second ingredient. But it also, it has 9 grams of additional added sugars. But it's got 5 grams of fiber. That's a good reading for fiber. So this is, this is a decent cereal. So 1 cup of this cereal is the equivalent of a serving. So you get 240 calories in a cup, it's not bad at all. So that was just kind of that example, because honestly and truly, I think we all have had cereal before in our lives. So we really have to kind of read the label. Where's the sugar? How much additional sugar has been added? And what's the dietary fiber? Because you really want that dietary fiber to be around 5. My hope is, now I will say this, these things don't come with nutrition labels for a very good reason, because they are whole foods. So hopefully you are out there in the world, and when you go to the grocery store, you're picking up produce in the produce section, or you're going to the frozen food section and picking up frozen vegetables. Nothing else in there, just the vegetables, just the fruit. It's always a good alternative to have the frozen stuff in the fridge if you run out of the fresh stuff in the fridge, because that way you can still eat healthy. Doesn't taste quite the same, but it's still good for you. Now, one of the things that I think a lot of people struggle with or don't pay attention to is when you go get like tomato sauce and salsa. So tomato sauce, I get one that has no sugar added, right? It says it right on the label, because so many tomato sauces add sugar. Tomato sauce doesn't need any more sugar. It's sweet. It's sweet enough as it is. So this one has a total sugar of 4 grams. So, and a serving size is a half cup. So if you look at this label, this is kind of where, you know, you've got your, it's probably backwards, I don't know. So you got your calories. So this is new. The serving size is a new part of the equation. And also down here at the bottom, they've got vitamins and things. That's all new. They used to have different ones down there, but they realized what was important. Vitamin D is so super duper important for so many of our functions. Okay, so another thing, I put a little bit, I guess I like this brand. I don't really pay attention to brands as much anymore as I do like just what I'm buying. But this is a salsa, and salsa is the same thing. You can get salsa that has so much additional sugar, and it doesn't need any, tomatoes are sweet. They don't need any more sugar. So this one, no additional added sugars, and 1 gram of total sugars. So there's that. And it's got, you know, reading the ingredients, it's got, you know, tomato puree, it's got tomatoes and onions and juice and green peppers and another type of pepper and garlic and jalapenos and cilantro and lime juice and jalapeno pepper puree and sea salt and vinegar and citric acid and calcium chloride. And those last 2 are basically so that it can have a little bit of a shelf life. But you know, it doesn't have anything in there that I feel bad about eating. I have stopped buying food that I cannot pronounce in the ingredients. The fewer ingredients you can have in a product, the better it's going to be. And you know, these are both highly processed in a way. This is probably the most processed foods I eat. Just because, you know, I don't have time to make my own salsa. I don't have time to make my own tomato sauce, but you can. And if I were going to make my own, I would probably be using the same ingredients. So it doesn't, you know, affect my buying it because of what's in it, as opposed to some of the other brands. So that is it. So when you go into a store, next time you go grocery shopping and you're in the aisles, in the middle aisles, hopefully you've picked up your produce, but you are like me, there's a few things that you just don't have time to cook. I mean, who has time to cook tomato sauce? I don't. So you're in the aisles and you're looking for some tomato sauce. Just be sure it has no additional added sugar. Be sure you can read what's in there, and if you don't, go to the next brand. And I'm sorry, some of the biggest names brands out there are just not good for you. They're just not. It's so unfortunate how bad our food has gotten when it's processed. Just, you know, just look at your serving sizes and pay attention to that. Losing weight is really, a lot of it is just going back to a serving size. You can cut down your calories and you will drop weight. So if you pay attention to the serving sizes and things, ice cream is one that's really bad because the serving size of ice cream is like little bitty. So I am guilty of getting one of those pints and eating it in a setting. And you know how many calories are in those things? Like 800. So I know I'm not alone in that. You just got to know what you're setting yourself up for. I pay attention to those things now. When I go to the store, I see the fact that I'm getting ready to eat 800 calories, and it's what I want. It's my cheat of the week. You know, it's just, this is how it's going down. I am not going to deprive myself of everything in life. I get the healthy ingredients. Doesn't mean the calories are not there. So there's a lot, but it's easier to read. They made it easier for the consumer to read, and I encourage you to start reading those labels. All right, I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.